Uh-oh. Hello, hello, this is Arcades, and welcome to an update episode of Stormworks Build and Rescue. As you saw from my little intro video there, little skit. Yeah, so I planted some oil out in the, oh dear. Yeah, that's getting, nasty quick. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. So they just released the oil spill update, and they added some new parts, they added new stuff. We got some mechanics added in. We're going to be taking a look at those. So I took, this is a vessel which I have affectionately called on my streams, Bottle Rocket. It is effectively kind of shut down at the moment because of the oil, because it is hydrojet powered. Guess what? If you have oil in the water, hydrojets don't work. So it's kind of in its best interest to clean the water around it. And how you ask? Well, of course, with the new parts. I have some already installed down here. We have the new centrifuge. And yeah, we're going to be looking at that, as well as some of the things you can do about the oil. Yeah. So, alright. I hope a lot of this I'm going to say is just preliminary from initial testing. I mean, it's only been a day. Some people could find things. Some people cover things that I don't cover. Feel free to check it out. Make sure you look it up. Comment down below. If you like what you hear, you like what you watch, enjoy what you see, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And yeah, so let's get into this. Okay, alright. So, as you see, there's a big black smudge. Now, what this ship is for me normally is it's a hydrojet-powered oil tanker, or a fluid tanker in general. So I decided to convert this cargo bay, into a acceptance tank. So it's going to take in all this dirty water, so to speak. I never said it was perfect. Okay, there we go. So, and what it'll do is it will bring the oil and water mixture into here. I have pumps in here. I have door openings. And we have another set of pumps because I wanted to experiment what type of openings would work for bringing the mixture into a contained space. Now, I also have distillation taps, because I'm going to be addressing that. If I sound a little off, it's because I'm recovering from a cold. So, if you hear a cough in the middle of the video, that's fine where it's from. So, I've got some pumps set up in here. We've got the centrifuge in here. I have another tank for final products. I split the main tank into 3 sections. Basically, this room is going to be accepting the fluid in. This part of the tank got sectioned out to process. It will be pumped in here for processing. And then we're going to have 2 tanks in here. There's one above me that's going to contain oil. And this one will bring in water. And this is basically the setup. And I'm going to drain the water. The ship has a build system, so I'm going to cheaply let it run out through here and let the build system in this hallway take care of it, like a lazy person. I mean, if it's there, no need to make it any more complicated. So, first thing we're going to do, since it should be quick, I'm going to address the distillation taps. I do have infinite electric on, I will say right now. I will go over the individual parts too in a moment that got added, but right now I want to show off my preliminary for processing. So right here I've got values for here. These control the pumps, and I put the doors, those doors right there, on my trigger button. So now they're taking in. I've turned on the pumps. And as you can see, it's going in. It is actually taking in. It doesn't have to be at surface level. It just has to be, so far I can see, in the vicinity. And when you look on the map, they will give you all the places where they have oil spills listed at. And as you can see, I'm raking in money for this. Like, they are putting money into your account just by pulling it out. Pulling it out and then taking it to the thing and then ditching it and bringing a new vessel in. You can do that if it's like here at the dock. Oh, wait. Whoops. I took a little too much on. Yeah, we got 67,000 liters. We are good. Okay. Now I need to do one thing real quick to prep this. I gotta grab my, I gotta turn my pumps on. So it takes the fluid out of the storage area and pump them into the processing area, which is this section right here. Oh, actually. And we have another pump. It's meant to circulate from here. And finally, we are going to turn on these pumps for the distillation tabs. And I have, yeah, they're right there. Now we're here in the storage room, and you see there's a whole big pile of stuff. You'll notice distillation taps, they're working. So essentially, you can use the distillation taps to pull the oil straight out of the water if you want. As long as they're at the bottom of the thing, so they register as oil, they will pull oil right out of the water, and you don't even need to use a centrifuge. And as you can see, it's doing it at a pretty decent speed. So we got 30 liters a second there. That is the least headache version of this you can do. At least that I found of. And what I mean by headache is having to find all these systems and fix them out, plugging holes, whatever. Alright, now let's get to the actual centrifuge. Since I covered the distillation taps, you can use them. They're there, available. Feel free to use them. Here's the thing. You can do an entire system with just one centrifuge. You can get a pure output of both. I would suggest, before you actually start pumping fluid, however, to start your centrifuge's RPS. I will show you all the inputs later, but for now, we're just going to go over the process as a quick access. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw this up to max. I've got 3 gearboxes on it, on a large motor, at 3-to-1. And I believe it should take this to 298 RPS is the last time I looked. Turn 70. 278. Either way, it's at a high amount of torque. Now, as far as actual speed goes, though. Whoops. Oh, yeah, you can see the taps. Okay, now I'm back in this room. Now I'm going to turn on the pump. I'm going to no-clip into the room so we can see its stats. And as you can see, it's taking in... Ooh, kind of noticed. It's kind of already separating itself. Anyways, so as you can see, it's taking in 112 liters a second. It's got a fluid out of 57 and a dense fluid out of 52. Now, let me head outside real quick to the hallway. We come over here. Now, the oil tank is up here. Notice there's no seawater in it. As long as, from what I can tell, as long as you maintain a high enough RPS/torque on the centrifuge, you only need one. And your dense output will always put out water. I have yet to see any oil come out of the dense port. Now, I did notice something interesting that did happen as I was doing my testing. And we'll have to see that in a minute. I overflooded this compartment, so... Okay, so I overflowed the compartment on the other side, so we kind of got to wait for it to take care of its business. And then we'll get over here. Now, the thing is, this way I originally had it planned, and I built the two separate tanks for a reason, was I wanted to test to see if the seawater actually does get dumped in here, and if it's always seawater. And I've let it run for hours on tests to see, and I have yet to see any seawater or oil get put in with the dense output. It either goes with the fluid out, or it kind of like stays in the centrifuge. Because I've had like the centrifuge completely shut out, and it continues to empty out seawater for a long time. So it will keep continuing to output even though the machine is off. However, here's the thing though. If you don't cut off the supply before you cut off the torque, it'll spit seawater into your oil tank if you have that separation. Which is what we're trying to avoid. Okay. Shit. And I've done I have set it up so that so this ship, I originally decided to use it because it has a double bottom hull that I built into it to act as the bilge system for the ship. In case there was damage, it would, take it out of each room, put it in the double bottom hull, and just get either shot out, the bottom of the ship or sent through the hydrojets. And that's how it was supposed to work. So I decided to repurpose that area as ditching the seawater from the processing area. Now, as you can see in here, we've got almost an equal mix of seawater and oil from the system. And it's just going to continue. Now, and it's probably going to take and replace. I've noticed that it seems to process faster when there's a little bit of room to work with. Because, at least in the case of my system here, it has the return pipe brings it right back into this room. So that ends up slowing it down when it doesn't have a place to send the stuff to. So right now that's kind of a flaw in my design when I overfilled. That's just seawater. So you can see, just seawater escaping. Yep, still just oil up there. And see, we got, this is doing its job, so we're good there. Alright, as you can see, we still got, that little bit left. I've already turned off the, I just went upstairs and turned off the pump, so now we just gotta wait for it to process through all of this. Now, as you can see, it is going quick through those numbers. I've noticed that the higher the RPS, or the higher RPS, the more efficient it is. And the faster it will roll through it. Is this room empty? Yes. Like I said, this doesn't matter, it's just seawater. It'll get dumped outside. As you can see, it's still just oil up in there. And it's doing what it needs to. This side of the tank, that's oil. So basically, small... Oh, and something else. As you sit here, oil in the update kind of acts like forest fires, in that it will start slowing stuff down quite a bit after some time. Ooh, wow. That's a big oil slick. So keep in mind, this is supposed to be 80, something like 60,000 liters of oil dumped out there. What it is that truck you saw at the beginning of the video. I modified it with a oil spawner, and it literally, so all I have to do if I need an oil slick, I just spawn the truck and turn on the pumps, and it just spits out oil. Alright, let's see. Have we capped out on oil? Because I know that tank only has like 22,000. Oh, no. Oh, 48,000. Okay, no, that's still good. We can empty this out, though. Now, if you... As far as the RPS goes, like I said, I think it's around 30-ish RPS you have to maintain, or it will start throwing seawater out the regular fluid output. All right, 31. It might be a little off from that, but you notice it's still just oil. And I'll bring it down a little bit more. All right, so we're at 27. $26. All right, that's good enough. Okay, it's still going. All right, we're down to 24. There we go. Now we're starting to have seawater introduced. And now the seawater has stopped increasing. So I said 30. I guess 25 is actually a better number. Now, I don't know if this is dependent on systems. This is just dependent on the setup I have here. But that's off of one centrifuge. If you can't maintain a higher one, then you'll definitely want multiple centrifuges. And that's with 2 3-to-1 going away from the motor. No, that's... I have a large electric with 3 3-to-1s going away from the motor. And that's what I'm coming up with, is that in that 280 something RPS. But now it's down to like 30 something. But it looks like 25 is the magic number. And as you can see, it's still processing, still taking out. And this is where I'll show you the other thing I came across. Okay, those should be empty. Now, it's still picking residual stuff, I'm assuming. And the fluid out, so, okay, so it's fully emptied. Just seawater. Yeah, and other than that 13.2 liters of seawater that I introduced to show you the effect, it's all oil. So, yeah, you can do it off of one centrifuge, you can do it off of one pass, but you have to make sure you get high enough RPS to get the pass done. Otherwise, you will have seawater going through. Seawater is what comes out the dense side, and your oil goes down the fluid output. And you got to have it going at least, so far, I guess, from what I showed there, which is 25 RPS, I would say is a good number. I would say definitely 30, easily. But, of course, as I said before, that's this setup. That is this setup here. And out of all that water I took in, I only took in 20,000 liters of, you know, or whatever thousands of liters of oil out of the system. 31,000, there we go. Which now can be offloaded elsewhere. So, okay, let's actually go and take a look at these parts now. Look at all those. Okay, so we're in the workbench here. And I'm going to just type in oil. Now they added, the parts they added was the centrifuge. And this little cute little thing right here. Oops. It is a oil rig drill clamp end. And we also have the centrifugal separator. Got the centrifugal has a torque output or torque connection and 3 fluid connections and a tank that can be spun to separate contained fluids, provide torque to begin spinning the separator. Fluid output ports will separate with increased effectiveness based on the spin speed. So you get, from what I was just showing there, a minimum of 25, 30 RPS, and, you know, torque, and you will separate with one stroke. Like, they will go out and split as they're supposed to. Otherwise, less than that, they will turn into seawater and a seawater oil mixture based on the speed on that percentage. At least that's from what I had found. Okay, so now for our portholes, however, flip this on its side. We'll put that right there. So on the top here, that's your power port on the top. I had a large electrical motor on it. Now, I don't know how feasible that is for, like... Right, yeah, I had a large electrical. A medium from earlier testing did pretty well, especially if you only have one. That'll get you up to, like, 100, nearly 100 RPS at full power. But if you only need a... But that's, like, also... I think I had 2 gearboxes at a 3-to-1 ratios pointing at it, and it was getting like 98. So you might not need all that much power. So keep that much in mind. So it might be cheap to use it. Then on the bottom here, this bottom port is the fluid out for the general fluid. This is where the mixture will come out. So after it spins through, comes out, that's where it comes out at. This port here on the side, this is where the general input is at. This one, this is where you send everything in. And finally, on the side here at the bottom, we have the dense fluid output. This is where the seawater is coming from. This is where, when it gets separated, where it pushes through. So, all you have to do, like I said, just set it up, get above the RPS level, or if you can't, expect having to rerun the fluid through it. But for the time being, I'm just going to say get above 30. It'll hold steady. And that's pretty much all the parts they added. This is better shown with what they else added. All this is a clamp. It's kind of like the swivel head. Like this piece, as far as operation, because you see they have the same things here. However, how it acts is different, and I will show you because they added something else. So if you go load and you go under your presets, they added a preset oil rig as a demonstration. And it even has refineries built onto it. And they have an interesting way they built it up. It comes stocked with some fuel ahead of time. I know these have diesel on them. They have a slurry tank here. They have water tank here. I think this is supposed to be oil storage. Not sure. And as you can see, they have all the rods. I have a number of rods on there too. Not just a few, a lot. And then up here, they have that new clamp piece. So let's spawn this in real quick. Now, I'm not going to get everything running, but I am going to go through some basic... They got their rotary table here. The furnace is here. You can just go ahead and kick that on if you want to use it, so it can get started. Get it up to temperature. It's going to sound like a rocket the entire time. You know what? So we can actually hear it, let's shut it down. Okay, so, and ADSW controls all these systems, or the arm in its movement. Come down, and it picks up a rod, pretty straightforward. And as you see, the end there, it has it hanging on there. Bring it up. Just wait for it to settle in a bit. Now, it clamped to the swivel head, so now I can just bring it down. As you can see, rocking and rolling. I just used the trim of the seat to keep it going down. Anyways, so yeah, as you see, they got their, the drilling fluid. 25,000 liters there. And yeah, they got everything set up. So it's a nice little design. It works. As a place you can fall through, check down below. Intentional or not. And yeah, this was added as well. So give it a check out. It's usable. Let's see how expensive it is, though. So if you were going to try to use it for career, it's actually just under 100,000. So that's not horrible. Let's compare it to my rig that I've got currently going. Because my rig, which is this one right here, is currently sitting at 74,000. But I don't plan to have the refining process on there, so yeah. So yeah, that should cover pretty much everything. We went over the oil, we went over the oil spills. One thing I forgot to mention is they have missions now added as a part of them. So, and if you go to do things and stuff starts leaking, takes damage and starts leaking, it's going to cause the oil spills. They're going to be in the same system as the forest fires. So those start popping up on your screens. You start cleaning it up, though, you'll start earning money with it. So keep that in mind. They added that centrifuge to help clean up and separate the oils from the water. And they added the new rod clamp end. Yeah, that thing up there. May not be able to see it very well right now. So, yeah. And this new preset oil rig, which turns out to be pretty handy, pretty straightforward. No, not a lot of fancy bells and whistles. I was sick, not tongue-tied. Anyways, so yeah, this is Arcades. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed what you watched. And yeah, I'm signing out. Have yourself a good day, and see you in the next video.